It is another beautiful day in Ohio, and it's back time. This is my 24.5 KTM 450 Factory Edition. It's got my favorite set of cone valve forks on it. Brad at Rideworks did the rear shock, the stock rear shock. Otherwise, it's stock. I love this bike. And this is my brand new 2025 CRF450R. Just picked this up. It is completely stock, other than the 50th anniversary seat and the ProLink stickers. We're going to do back-to-back. We're going to take these full-on motorbikes, and I'm going to do my Woods Loop back-to-back on them. So, I like my off-road bikes to have some bandwidth. So I goof on them a little bit of every place. And we'll do a quick woods lap. Now this bike, I put what I call my 350 map in it. It is gravel, wet, minimum throttle response, minimum engine braking, and maximum traction control. And that just dials it back to like almost like a 350. And it's just super easy to ride. These cone valve forks are wonderful. I wish KTM would put spring forks on these bikes stock. And Brad at Rideworks redid the stock rear shock so good. It's just easy to ride. It's got a better bandwidth for a slow vet guy like me, because I like to go out on the trails. And it's amazing just how rideable these big old 450s are, even in this tight stuff. And it's quite easy when you dial back the power. And this bike, 60 horsepower, I don't think it's ever been so easy to ride a 60 horsepower bike. And it's fun to get it out on the moto track too. But it's amazing just how rideable it is. Just by itself, with just some COO tuning. Of course, the factory edition comes with it. But you can add it to any 23 through 25 450SXF. We put it on my son's 23 450, and he loves it. Just dialing back engine braking really kind of frees the bike up. This is where you love those Brembo brakes. Try to get these beasts to slow down. Sing. 249.77. 49.8. 498. Man, this thing is fun. All right, let's see what the CRF can do. 49.8. This bike, my 350 setting is map 2 and traction control on 3. 48.9. It's amazing just how good these stock Showa forks are. Now, this thing feels pretty responsive. It's not dialed back quite as much as the KTM. A little more bark, but it's still quite rideable. And it has that quickness. The front end just feels smaller on a Honda for some reason. There is a quickness to that front wheel. The clutch pull is easy. I love the front brake. This Nissan front brake is strong. And the low speed rideability on this new engine is very good. Big old 450. We were just motoing it yesterday at Route 62 MX, and today playing around in the woods. Bandwidth. Yeah, this one, I think it's a little sharper. Maybe a Crawfordsville would smooth it out a little, but it's still really smooth initial throttle. Whoa! I gotta clean some whackers out. Oh, I love that 450. Okay, 50.8, 49.858. So maybe 2 seconds slower. Man, this thing is fun. All right, Honda definitely has a little more bark. Not dialed quite back as much as the COO unit, but still really smooth. And it has that Honda quickness in the front and makes it agile. This engine is very playful, very responsive. Feels a little more responsive than the KTM as far as how quickly it builds our RPM. Now, this is the R. I'm sure the RX will have a totally different base engine mapping and build a little bit smoother, but I just like it has got a lot of adjustments, even though you don't have an app, by using the different maps. So, and the suspension's working really good for a full-on motorbike. KTM, it's got the COO unit. I think that's pretty cool that you can just tune it. And this has got a really good combo of kind of stability and cornering, because it still corners good. And I think the MX-34 is just better up front. Probably have to get one for that bike for the CRF. But man, they are two really fun bikes. I'm looking forward to the Works Edition in November. That'll have a little different engine mapping, the full Yosh pipe to match it, and porting in the head and the coated suspension. But for now, it's amazing how well the stock one works. It is the best CRF in a long time. More back-to-backs on these two, and two big thumbs up on a beautiful day in Ohio.